Hey now, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Duke here. Hope y'all are having a great evening. I just got out of work not that long ago myself. Hope y'all having a great day. Um, I wanted to do a quick little live rant with you guys tonight. I haven't done anything in a while. Been busy. So I wanted to give my opinion on why the liberals are so quiet. And as you know, and if you don't know, well, you clearly are hiding under a rock somewhere. We had a school shooting last week. Very sad, very unfortunate, and my heart and prayers go out to the victims and the families of that school. So, um, but the funny part is to all of that is the liberals haven't said a goddamn word about any of it, and that kind of irritates me, and I'll tell you why. Because it's not the typical stereotype of shooting. It wasn't your average white kid with an AR-15, the big, bad, scary AR-15, which magically commits crimes all on its own. Now, you know, this was, I believe, a Spanish kid with a sawed-off shotgun killed, last I heard, 8, 9 people, 10 people. I haven't looked at those numbers lately, so those numbers could easily have gone up. So, but it just irks me because here we are with a tragedy that has gone on, just like every other unfortunate tragedy that has occurred, and yet the liberals are so quiet. They're not letting their voices be heard. They're not voicing their opinion like they usually do. Like they usually don't shut up, which is quite irritating. I will say that right now. Most of those guys, and I am a firm believer of the First and Second Amendment of the Constitution of our great country, and I will never one time say you don't have any rights to sit there and do otherwise. But you know something? You want to protest, knock your socks off. I'm never against it. But know what you're protesting about. Why is that so difficult for people to understand? Why is that so difficult for people to grasp? Do your research on what it is that you're doing, on what it is that you're protesting. Understand what it is that you're protesting. Don't sit there and come out and say that, okay, we want to get rid of all guns. Well, why? Because they're all a threat. Guns kill. No, that's not why you want to get rid of all guns. I will say that I've never been for guns, but I'm not against guns either. And like I said, I'm a firm believer in our Second Amendment, along with our First Amendment. Now, the biggest thing is that every liberal you talk to who protests gun rights or whatever you want to call it will sit there and say, "Well, we want to ban fully automatic weapons." Really, that's interesting. You do realize that fully automatic weapons are already banned. That I can't go to the store and buy myself a fully automatic rifle. That just doesn't happen now. The AR-15 is a perfect example, and I know some states have already gone ahead and banned them anyways. I know some states have already gone ahead and banned bump stocks and whatnot, so you can't even bitch about that anymore. It is what it is. But some people believe that the AR-15 is an automatic weapon. Not the case. Not true. Like I said, this is where doing your quote unquote research comes into play before you decide to stand up and voice your opinion about something you do not know or understand. Now, it's unfortunate that, well, for gun owners, it's unfortunate that the AR-15 has been banned, but it is what it is, and that is what we call life. That is what you do. Now, again, I'm not um, saying that anybody who stands on the left or anybody who stands on the right doesn't have the ability to voice their opinion, doesn't have the right to voice their opinion. You do. I'm just saying, please, for the love of God, start doing your research on these things. You sound like complete fools whenever it is that you guys decide you're going to protest and you don't know what you're protesting. You don't know how to handle it. You don't know what to say. I've watched a lot of people on YouTube with these whole gun protesters, and they sound like fools, complete fools. I mean, we all as Americans have the right to defend ourselves with a firearm, without a firearm, however you want to look at it. But I mean, I'm sorry, but if you're a woman walking home from, I don't know, say a late night shift at work, I feel that if she feels unsafe and she wants to carry her a firearm in self defense, she has that right, 100%. I feel that um, a lot of law-abiding citizens have the right to carry firearms, to possess firearms, and it's all in how they handle it. Now, let's face it, yes, you do have your occasional dumbass, so to speak, who sits there and, you know, tosses around a firearm like it's a toy, and those are the people that shouldn't have firearms. I would 100% agree with that. Now, the big question is like, okay, who shouldn't and who should have firearms? Clearly, in all the school shootings that involve the quote unquote AR-15, those weapons were purchased legally. I'm a firm believer that yes, we need to crack down on gun laws, even though if we do, it's going to cause more heartache and more, it's going to make life harder for the law abiding citizen. I understand that. But I do agree with all these school shootings. These school shootings have to stop. When I was in school, we never had to worry about stuff like this. And it's sad. It's really, really sad that these kids have to worry about that today. So, what tougher gun laws could we enact? Who knows? Because let's face it, somebody who's hell bent on causing that much damage is going to find a way around it. Whether it's getting their hands on an illegal firearm, or hell, they'll even take their car and run through a crowd of people. Who knows? But they will find a way to cause this kind of damage. And it's the truth. We have to concern ourselves with how are we going to protect our schools? How are we going to protect our children? And everybody sits there and says, well, guns aren't the answer. Well, yeah, guns are not the answer. I will agree with that statement 100%. But the other guy isn't thinking that way. The other guy who has that firearm, who wants to go into that school or public place or wherever to cause damage and take as many innocent lives as he can, um, he isn't thinking, well, guns aren't the answer. He's thinking, how many people can I take with me? So let's face it, at this point in time, when it comes to self defense, you fight fire with fire. Why not arm our teachers or put armed security guards in these schools? We had a school shooting in, I believe it was Maryland. I can't remember if it was February or not. Shooter came in, I think, if I remember correctly, and again, please don't hold me to this because I could be wrong in remembering. I believe the school shooter entered the school. He shot one person, but an armed guard took him out before he was able to take any more innocent lives. So you had what? A loss of no loss of life is acceptable, but compared to some of these other losses that some of these other school shootings have had, I'd say that's not bad. And in all honesty, guys, you have to sit there and think that taking away all guns, especially from law-abiding citizens, is not going to stop the shootings. A criminal who is determined to cause as much damage as he can to and hurt as many people as he can is going to find a way to get his hands on a weapon, whether it's a firearm, explosive, hell, even a vehicle. And you know what? As far as the liberals go, as far as the Democrats go, you want to protest by all means. Please protest peacefully. There's no reason, there's no rhyme or reason to you let these protests get out of hand like they have been, which is another issue all on its own. But protest peacefully. There's no reason to hurt people during your protest. There's no reason to cause damage during your protest. There's no reason for any of that violence that occurs during a lot of these protests that I have seen and that I have witnessed. Um, but again, I am a firm believer in the First Amendment, in the Second Amendment, and I truly, truly, honest to God, believe and will never take away anybody's rights as far as the Second Amendment is, as far as the Constitution is concerned. And like I said, you have the right to voice your opinion, you have the right to protest, but do your research for Christ's sakes. A lot of you people just sound like total morons. And it's sad to sit there and listen to some of them because you just don't know what you're talking about. And like I said, I'm not a huge gun guy. I've never been a huge gun guy. So, no, I don't know what I'm talking about. But I do know that if I was going to protest guns, if I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not going to open my mouth because you sound like an idiot. And that's the bottom line. Guys, if any of you agree with anything that I have said here, I mean, I'm not for violence. I don't want people to think that. I know if you guys are liberals who subscribe to me, who watch my content on a daily basis, I know if you're a liberal, you have the right to voice your opinion, but please just do it respectfully. Okay? Just do it respectfully. And like I said, what I've said here tonight is just it's some advice. Um, I'm not here to start a war with anybody. I'm not here to start problems, but I am here to voice my opinion, and this is my opinion. Taking away all guns is not going to solve anything, not even for the slightest time. So I hope you all just rethink what it is you want as far as stricter gun control. Think of what it is that you want, and you know what? Another thing while I'm at it, every time there is a school shooting that involves the big bad scary AR-15, everybody goes after the NRA, and I honestly don't understand why. Well, except for this last one because the liberals don't seem to care as much. But I don't understand why everybody goes after the NRA. They don't produce weapons. They don't sell weapons. They have no influence in gun laws whatsoever. They can only do what you guys are doing, and that is voicing their opinion. The NRA has stood up for our Second Amendment rights since the day it was established. No, I'm not a member of the NRA, so don't think that I am. But they're not the bad guys here. They are not the ones going into these places with firearms and killing as many people as they can. They want to stop this as much as anybody else does. And that's the one thing that everyone has in common. Nobody wants to see these things happen again. But understand that when you do decide you want to blame somebody, don't blame an organization like the NRA. They had nothing to do with it. And yes, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, there needs something definitely needs to be done. Whether it's stricter gun laws, whether it's I don't know, back with maybe stronger background checks. I mean, I got nothing to hide. If I was going to go for my LTC, okay. You want to look deeper into my past? Knock your socks off. I've got nothing to hide. Yeah, I'm not a criminal. I'm not insane. I'm not going out of my mind. None of that. I have no need, no want to try to cause harm to anybody. So like I said to you guys before, it's really sad to sit here and know and see that the liberals are just so one way. It's not even funny. It is the truth. They don't want to see the bigger picture. And the bigger picture here is that you're not going to accomplish anything by taking away all guns in this country. You're not going to accomplish anything by altering the Second Amendment. You're not going to accomplish anything by making life harder for law-abiding citizens. Because yes, a good guy with a gun will stop a bad guy with a gun. And I find it funny how you watch all of these protests and these anti-gun speeches, and people who don't understand it. I wonder if they sit there and rewatch their speech, and I wonder if they sit there and say to themselves, "Wow, that kind of sounds stupid." They probably don't, more than likely, because they think what they're saying is right. Well, you're not. You're not right. Do your research before you decide to protest. Do something other than just spout off about how you want to get rid of all guns. Well, I think I've said enough about why liberals are so quiet. Like I said, if you're a liberal who does watch my channel, I'm not trying to insult you. I'm really, truly not. But I hope you, if you're going to comment, if you're going to voice your opinion, by all means, voice your opinion. Just be respectful about it. But other than that, guys, let's get on to what old Duke's been doing. I got a funny story. Well, not so funny, but you know what? I think I'm gonna save that story for next week. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Next week, I'm actually heading up to Maine um, with my buddy. We're heading up to Maine for a couple of days. Gonna take some time off. I really need it after all the bullshit that I've been through, but that's something completely different. Um, so I don't know when I'll go live again, but I will do a couple of vlogs while I'm up in Maine and let you guys and post them when I get back here because there's no internet up there. So that way you guys can check it out and I give you something. I might even do a grilling with the Duke up there. I got a few ideas of some things I want to try, so I might even take the time to do that while I'm up there. The hell with it, I need something to do. So um, I want to get my podcast back going, and I'm hoping that I can get my good buddy Dave to be my co-host. I'd like to get one more co-host, but that might not happen. So the podcast, we're going to be using the is hear your opinions about a lot of things that are going on and what topics you'd like to discuss and whatnot. Hopefully, you guys will enjoy it and look forward to it. I'm aiming for June or July to start with the live podcast again. Those will be a weekly show, Friday or Saturday night, possibly. I don't know, but be sure to tune in. Be sure to subscribe. Otherwise, guys, I'm going to head out of here now. I told you I didn't want to do a very long live rant, but I was just going to do fuck it, a live rant and just give my opinion about what's going on and how I feel. If you don't like it, sorry, go fuck yourself, but I don't care. It's my channel. I have the right to voice my opinion, and I'm going to voice my opinion using my channel. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this rant, this video, or any of my other content, please share it with your friends. Hit that like button down below. Don't forget to subscribe for more content, guys. As always, I'll catch you on the flip side.